I would really not trade January for an extra December because, well, there's that pressure that comes with January.
Yes.
But remember, you cannot solve a problem by running away from it. You have to face it.
I'm running.
And it's often times that we forget, like, you need to actually take care of your mental health. It needs to be an active, like, effort to take care of it. And I know most of the time we don't know how to take care of it. So now that you mentioned it, is there any way you plan to take care of your mental health in this year? I know Wangari said she's going back to therapy. Yeah. Is there anything else that you're doing? Hi guys, welcome back to the Behind the Curtains podcast with Centonomy. Happy New Year. I'm here with my lovely, lovely ladies and I'll let them introduce themselves from my far left.
Thank you, Amboy. Happy New Year, everyone. This is the New Year 2025. Karibuni sana to this podcast. My name is Nancy.
Hi guys, yet another year for us to be great. My name is Ruby.
Happy New Year, everybody. My name is Wangari.
And my name is Omboy. I'll be your host for today. So today we are talking about 2025. What are our hopes for 2025, ladies? Before we begin, actually, how was your 2024? How was it? You can sum it up to one word, 2 words. How do you think your 2024 was?
I want to say a lot.
Ooh, okay.
And a lot, not in a bad way, but just a lot because of a lot of stretching and a lot of doing things that I didn't think I would be able to do. So a lot with a lot of gratitude.
Yeah. Nice. I think for me, mine is growth. I think I grew the most in 2024. And I talked about this in our year in review. 2024 was a lot of growth. Yani, growing pains too zilikuwa tunanigonga to left, right, center. So a lot of growth for me in 2024.
Okay, for me, I'd say 2024 was a learning curve for me and as well as growth. Yeah, so I've learned quite a lot and I've also grown. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
I think for me, I'd describe it as intense. I feel like of all the years I've been alive, I feel like 2024 I've been more present. I feel I've felt my feelings more intensely. And you know how sometimes God gives you an assignment. I feel like even for the things that God called me to do, I feel like it has stirred in my spirit the whole of the year. So like God didn't let me slack on things because he was always on my case all the time. So I feel like I have felt things intensely.
Okay.
Yeah, in the year 2024.
Interesting. Yeah. That's very interesting. So now that we're in 2025, what are your hopes for the year? Let's like surface level before you get deep into it. How do you feel? How are the vibes for 2025?
Fun.
Funny enough,
that's a lot of fun.
That's mine as well. A lot of fun. Yeah. That's mine as well.
Yeah, travel fun.
Hey, nice. Yeah. Nice.
Actually, it's one of my goals to travel out of the country.
Yes.
That's one of my goals.
Okay.
Awesome.
For me, I'd say I'd want to nurture friendships. I've realized that the friends that I have really give me so much joy. Okay. So I think that's something that I'd want to maintain my friendships and also expand my friendships.
Nice. So maybe we can get deeper into that. So what are you looking into for 2025? Like, what are your goals? What do you want to do in 2025? Maybe you want to do something different. It's actually 5 years to Vision 2030. I don't know if that makes sense.
Wow.
I don't know if that makes sense for you or it has any relation to your life. But yeah, what are your hopes for 2025?
So you see, like, normally when you start the year, I usually have goals. But I realize with some, I terribly fail. Yeah. Like, terribly. Like, for instance, when the year starts, I have to, be consistent with gym. Don't give me
fitness. So that's the one we slack on, not even me. Where?
I remember when the year began, I said I would try workouts at home first. Yeah. I go to the gym. The third day. Tafanya kesho.
Oh.
unfortunately, I didn't even proceed. So that's one of the things I really want to be serious and intentional about. I hope God help me.
Imagine I can relate. I can relate. In 2024, I tried running. Well, for a bit, but yeah, I wasn't consistent. I also tried home workouts. I wasn't consistent. So na hoping nile mwanka yenye will be as disciplined as Wangare and actually do the thing as far as fitness is concerned.
I think when it comes to fitness, if there's something that has worked for me, one is to figure out what kind of exercise or moving your body do you enjoy. So for me, I know I enjoy yoga. I know I enjoy to run, and I also do enjoy a good HIIT workout that keeps the blood pumping. Okay. So I feel like even when you start, you also don't have to like work out for 30 minutes. It could be like just 10 minutes of moving your body. It could be even just 5 minutes, because I feel like it needs to get to a point where you're building a level of consistency. Okay. And then when you have your consistency in, then you can now elongate the period of time. People don't do things that they do not enjoy. That's so true. Start by first figuring out. It could be maybe every day you've been yogaing, because the yoga is something that it stretches, it's nice, it's so figure out what kind of exercise do you enjoy doing, and do it just for 10 minutes. Don't jipatie pressure mingi, just 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes.
But what happens when you don't even like any when you don't like any exercise? Kama mimi, I hate running. I hate
so running. I mean, even for me, after trying running, it's hard. Maybe walking. I enjoy walking. I'll probably start with that.
But I feel like again something has to give.
Something has to give.
And we have to be accountable. There's no other way.
I understand. And you, what are you looking forward
to? This could be kidogo deep, but I'm looking forward to going back to therapy. So, like, for the friends that I have that have gone to therapy, I've always been pushing for therapy because I began my therapy journey in 2023, and then I did it for a while, and then I don't know what, I think by the time 2024 was reaching, I knew I wanted to change therapists, and then I think by the time, like, I'm trying to figure out, which therapist do I want, and even what goals do I have for therapy. I think that moment of transition, I think, kind of got me off, the bandwagon, but I'm something that I'm looking forward to going back to. My first session is on January the 6th.
Oh, nice.
The contract has been signed and everything is just,
it's signed and sealed.
Wow. Yes. So I'm looking to go back to therapy.
Very, very nice. Interesting. You, Rubes?
Wow. So acha nifungue nini mwa Kenya kwa sababu ndio nikisema I was being held accountable nirudi hapa. Anyway, even before we go inside, I mean, this year I really, really would want to go back to school, and I've been saying that a lot. But I also completely appreciate that sometimes things just don't align, and I'm okay with it. I'm not battling with, I said this 2024 and I was unable to do it. No, I appreciate that life goes in rhythm and God has a plan, and so we are aligned to that. But I really do pray that this would be the year that I go back to school. And I won't lie to you guys. First of all, I feel like I'm so afraid. Na feel kama nitaingia class alafu hakuna kitu nashika. Niko tu kwa naona vitu zinapita na I'm like, guy, how do adults learn? I don't know why. I'm so nervous about going back to school. But this year I'll take that step of faith. Nitajua kama nashika ama sishiki nikiwa huko ndani. Utajulia mbele. So that's something I would really love to achieve this year, at least to start. Nice. It doesn't matter if I won't be able, I know whatever course I want to do might not end by the end of the year, but I would love to start.
At least to start.
And that's like a professional course or
your master's.
And why do you want to go back to school?
Okay, so number one, I feel like I would really want to gather the knowledge. And for a long time, the reason I haven't gone to school is I've been trying to figure out, parenting, work, the balance. But I've also realized that in life, you'll never really have a time when everything will fit in visibly. So ni wewe tu jitume, usqueeze hapa, hadi usettle. And then also my kids are big enough. Now, even if I do a late night class, I know that they'll be just fine. So To be honest, between the professional course and the master's, I still haven't agreed on which. I have researched on both, but I feel like I need to do more research to decide which way do I want to go. But so far, I feel like I'm leaning a lot on the master's, but to be confirmed. Let's see how it goes.
Nice. Yeah.
Actually, knowledge it's never enough.
Yeah.
So the more you're knowledgeable, the more you're relevant, the more you remain relevant.
Exactly.
So it's important.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier, sorry to interrupt, I think it's easier when I think about like when our folks wanted to go back to school, it was so much more difficult because we needed to go there physically.
Yeah.
We live in a time where we can do full online classes and I can just settle in and actually be able to do it. So I'm really encouraged. This is the year that I step out, I will go back.
Yeah.
And also further studies isn't also just about the education. Even the networks that you're going to build with your fellow classmates.
Yes.
It's networks that you could leverage in the future.
It's gonna open up a whole world that you didn't have access
exactly.
to. That's exciting.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Nice. For me, I don't have a specific goal, but I just know I want to have fun. This year, I want to have fun. Given that I am a 2026 bride, 2027 mom.
I like your plan. Wambo, okay, correct. So 2025 is the only time that's left.
I have 1 year to have fun and discover myself. So this year I want to do a lot of fun things. I wanna rediscover who I am. Wangara is laughing because she knows I've said this over and over again.
May you receive what
2026 mom, 2026 bride, 2027 mom.
Okay.
Wow.
Tuko ready.
God will provide.
Yes,
but
everything will be provided.
Mungu will provide even the husband.
Yes, even the husband.
Even the husband is nowhere to be found.
But he will be found by 2026.
It's still January 2025.
There's time.
We have time. So for 2025, I want to have a lot of fun. I want to do things by myself.
Yeah.
I want to make friends.
Okay.
Yeah, because I need that bridal procession.
I'm hoping
I want to make friends who are gonna be my bridesmaids. Yeah. I want to do a lot of fun things because I think when I said 2024, I was growing a lot. That meant that I wasn't able to. There were things I was unlearning about myself, and then I wasn't able to do the fun things that I wanted to do by myself. But now that I feel like I've grown enough. I am mature enough right now. I can now step into a fun one boy who likes to do fun things, who's gonna be doing things by herself. Who's gonna rediscover her hobbies, her all that. So I also cannot wait. I have so many plans for this year. So but that's the major. I wanna have fun. Yes.
One thing that has stuck out to me when you're talking about it, which is so fantastic, is you're talking about it a lot of excitement, and you've reiterated a lot that it's by yourself. I think that's powerful. I feel like there's always an opportunity to rediscover yourself, and most of the times, maybe kitambo, it used to feel like rediscovering yourself is not necessarily a thing that people talk about, or they expect you to be a certain way your whole life. But it's so nice to live in a space where you can actually say, I'm not the same person I was in 2024, and that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. You have just figured out more about yourself and the areas you want to explore. I think that's amazing. And none of us should be afraid to do it.
None should be afraid to do that. Actually, I saw a tweet saying, Ati, I don't understand why people are afraid of starting over. This is like my 7th life. My 7th life.
Isn't it?
It shouldn't be nerve-wracking to find yourself and rediscover yourself, because we are changing human beings. Things change. I'm not the same one boy I was in 2022. I'm not the same one boy I was in 2019. Even last year, I'm not the same one boy. You keep changing, and if changing means you rediscover yourself at every stage of your life, then do it. It's your life. You have one. Do it.
I think my other goal would be in 2025 this year is learning to let go. Because so many times you find yourself attaching to things that
there is something that you need to let go, Nancy. I will hold you very accountable.
So how far will we let it go?
How far will we let go?
This thing is not beneficial to you in any way. I mean, in different areas, in all areas. So that's one of my goals this year, to learn to let go.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I know it's very hard to hold on to things. And I know, Wangari, we've talked about this before. You were telling me that in this season, in 2024, you were learning how to let go. Can you speak more into
maybe
how that experience was for you?
Yeah.
I feel when it comes to life, like life is a continuous process of grieving. It's about grieving the past, maybe Wangari that you thought they were.
Yeah.
It means that you need to maybe let go of friendships that you had seen a whole future with. You know, it's grieving or letting go of some ideologies that you know that if at all I'm supposed to go to the next season of my life, as in their ideologies that or belief systems that I need to let go of. And I feel at the core of it requires a lot of courage. And
It does.
Yeah, and I think even when we pray, I think what we need to pray for is the courage actually to be able to pivot accordingly and also to pivot when the need to pivot comes. And also I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and I was now even just telling him that when it comes to the different seasons of our lives, and even we were having this conversation with Waithaka when we had gone to our team building, and I was telling him about even what the Bible says about times and seasons of your life. There's a time to laugh and a time to cry. There's a time to love and a time to hate. There's a time to, build up and there's a time to tear down. I think as a human being, you need to be very sensitive about the season you are in your life. And because I was having this conversation with my really good friend, her name is Juliet, and I was telling her, even when we were in the year 2024, it got to a point where I had felt like I had lost who Wangari is, and I felt like I am new to life. Like I felt like, you see how somebody gives birth and then this 0 hour or 1 hour old child, I felt like a 1 hour old child, as in life feels so new to me, the way that person is. And there's a lot of where did I go wrong, or did I also not see as the changes were happening. But now it now reminded me that I was like, there's no point of me giving myself grief about it. And it's not that I am out of rhythm. Sometimes you think, I was out of rhythm, now I need to go back to the rhythm. And you're trying to figure out what do I need to do differently so that I can go back to the rhythm. And that is when now I got the aha moment of, it's not that I am out of rhythm, it's that I'm at a different season of my life. Just because even when you think even about the weather, it's not raining all the time. So you can't say when it's sunny that the weather is out of rhythm. No, it's just that there's a lot of evolution, in the season that we are in. So I think it's just to extend yourself some grace, at this juncture of your life, and just to again realize what time am I in and what season am I in.
And I think one thing I'd like to add about letting go is you have this conversation, and you write down the things that you want to let go of, and you do, and sometimes you feel like, I let that go, and then you encounter something and it comes rushing back like a wind, and you're just like this, and then you're like, but I thought I had dealt with this.
I know.
Why is it coming back? But I think the thing about letting go is it's a process, and I feel like it's a completely different process, and it's not linear. So even when you do find yourself maybe in those spaces where it comes rushing back, just extend yourself some grace and keep going. Keep going.
It's part of the journey.
It's part of the journey. It is. It is. Anything else you're looking forward to in 2025?
Goes back to notes. Goes back to notes. Okay, one of the things that I really would love to do this year is take a parenting class. And sometimes I laugh, because I feel like my children are already old. So I'm like, nilikuwa wapi wakiwa like 2 or 3 years. But in 2024, one of the things that I learned a lot about parenting was, okay, first of all, parents, I don't know about you guys, but we are YOLOing through this life. It's usually a kind of test and see, and you're taking what your parents did and you're, mixing it up with we're in a different generation, and you're trying to read and you're trying to research, and you're trying gentle parenting versus you're trying to find the balance between, how do you discipline your children? So it's a lot. But what I learned in 2024 is it's okay to open up your mind, to listen to other views, and then come back to yourself and then agree with yourself. What are you picking and what are you not picking? The same way, like with our folks, maybe there are things they did really well and there are some things maybe they didn't do very well.
Yeah.
And so usually when you get your children, you decide, I want to do this, but I might leave this one behind. So in the same way, I've had a friend of mine who's talked about a layer class a lot in 2024. So this would be the year I would love to do it. And one thing that I must say about me as a parent, now actually I've grown, oh my God, I've grown so much. I used to overcompensate a lot and baby my children a lot. Now I've just kind of found a good balance. And you know, they know discipline, they know fun times, they know a lot of everything. But I feel like with the changing times and the way they have so much access to, you know, tech and knowledge and all those things, and even the things that are happening in the world now, it takes us being dynamic even in terms of our parenting. So that's a thing I would want to improve on as well this year.
Makes sense. That makes sense. For me now, for me financially,
yes.
Hey,
it's time for money.
Hey, let me sit up because I need to, like I said, 2026 bride, 2027 mom needs to have her finances in order. She needs to have her finances in order. So I'm looking forward to a lot of financial growth this year.
Okay.
I want to make more money.
Yes.
I want to find out ways I can make more money and use even my talents and my skills to make more money other than my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I also want to stop spending money on nonsense. I spend I spend so much money. I think because I'm free and I don't have like a lot of responsibilities.
Yes.
I spend my money on things that do not make sense. So this is the year I stop that. I start saving seriously. I start getting into bonds because we've all done Centonomy classes. You have the knowledge, but sometimes putting it into action it might be a problem. But so this is the year I get into like serious investing and serious MMF, and then I feel I'm good. I pat on the back because I've saved 2K. I want now like good to save good money, get into like proper investing, get into like proper saving for myself, and then explore other avenues where I can make more money, grow my money, protect my money,
and invest your money.
Centonomy 101. Yes. Personal finance. So all that good things. So 2024 financially, what happened in 2024 financially must never happen again in my life. Because I wasted a lot of money last year. I don't have a lot to show for the things that I've done. And I've been working for 5 years. So, and I still don't have a lot to show like financially, like I don't have a lot of assets. I don't have, so this is the year that changes that. And I really need to hold myself accountable because I'm also getting old. I have 1,000 days of impact. I have 1,000 days to 30. So it needs to happen right now. It needs to happen right now. So 2025 is that year for me.
If I can say something about 2025 is I want what God wants for me. And I've come to realize, even with my relationship with God, because I've been rebuilding it. We have the two of us relationship, hot minute now. And I feel it in my spirit that God wants to do big things in my life.
Amen to that.
And I feel like for a long time I have limited God in what he can do. I feel like I've been putting God in a box, but what God is telling me, Sharon, the things I am about to do in your life, like even your human mind cannot perceive it.
That's true. It's even imagine.
And so I think what I want to do in the year 2025, because my word of the year 2025 is transition. This is something that I pray about. Usually as we head to another year, usually I'm like, God, what's the word that will anchor me in the course of, for 2024 it was surrender, and in 2025 it was transition. So it makes sense that is the word of the year, because there are very many things that I need to transition from this to this, from this to this, from this to this. So that means there's a lot of work to be done, and I know that for
sure. And can I just say, it has been so wonderful seeing your transition, your relationship with God grow, because I don't know, I don't know if it's the right place to say this, but I think you need a whole podcast to talk about your journey with God, because it has been a lot. It's an outlier relationship. Wow. I really love that you're at a place where you're now rebuilding your relationship with God, and you're doing it so openly and so with such an open heart that it's actually showing. I love that about it. I love that about you.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe just to tie into actually, so a little bit of Wangari and a bit of Wambo. So one of the things this year I want to really continue to grow is my relationship with God. So, and it's interesting, yeah. In 2024, I feel like me and him had a very interesting relationship. We had a very good high and a couple of lows and so many things in between, yeah. But I think one of the things that continues to stand out for me is that God is there whether you're feeling like you want to be there, me as Ruby, or whether I'm not there. Like on the days nataka na sijiski na wewe bado yako hapo, na the days I'm like, okay, sasa nimerudi kwa line. Ati ulikuwa unasema bado yako hapo. That's something that I mean, I always stand amazed. It's on a next level. And so this year for sure, I definitely do want to continue to grow my relationship with God. And tied to that is the financial aspect of things. And I feel like I can relate to Wangari a lot, yeah. I've always been those people who, not always, but I mean, it's something that I'm growing out of, but I pray very audacious prayers. Then I come back and I'm like, God is still in a box. So I'm praying them out, but to be honest, so I'm not trusting that he can do it. And sometimes I'm not trusting that maybe I'm deserving. But actually this year I want to allow God to do the thing however way it goes, and I'm going to stand on brand as far as faith is concerned. Like I'm going to believe in things that the normal me would be like joke aje hata iwezi.
Alafu watu kiangalia your goals, you need to have like, I know
that, I'm standing on that possibility, and then I'm like, God, zile financial plans niko nazo, it can only work if you're with me, because there's no other way of doing it. But also in 2025 I also really want to capitalize on my non-financial assets. Wambo said that those things that I'm good at over and above my 9 to 5, this is definitely the year to build, to make money out of them. And I don't necessarily want it to be driven by the money aspect, but it's a valuable thing, so why not? If it can make me money that I can begin to save or to invest or to do things that I haven't done previously, I'm ready for it.
And if you make money while at it, then perfect.
Great, and especially because it's something that I enjoy. So if it can make me money, why not?
In the same breath, I think Wambai, when you mentioned impact, it reminded me one of my goals also is to start something that will leave a lasting impact, especially financially, or even a project. Like right now, I haven't figured what really it is, but I really want to start something that would leave a lasting impact.
Love it.
May you get the revelation of what it is. Amen.
I love this conversation, but I think we need to go on a break right now. And do a very quick game.
Welcome to our fun times. This is the commercial break, and before we resume shortly, I'm just gonna be asking my colleagues some fun questions. So I'll start. Imagine your January had a soundtrack. What song perfectly sums up your experience this month?
Hiyo wimbo napenda ni ngoja nikumbuke tena niangalie. I'll tell you. Ngoja tuende kwa Spotify site tu na
tuangalie which song.
So specifically January,
you have a song. Mine would be Kesho by Bridget Blue. Because if it doesn't work in January, there's Kesho. We can try tomorrow. We can try tomorrow.
Well put.
Do we need to say anything more?
Tuseme tu hiyo ni
tuanguka nayo.
Tuanguke tu nayo.
Mimi kuanguka nayo. Tunaanguka na kilo kitu.
Oh wow.
But I do have one. I just need to check out my songs. The songs I like. I'm liking right now.
So I want to say nena speak nini prophetically into my January. Umenikubali. Hii January na nikubali. Mimi hakuna venye ati tutakuwa na struggles. So far we are doing well, and we will continue like that until the 97th day of January. So yes, I'll say umenikubali.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Wangari, do you want to go first?
I'd say Brighter Days.
Oh, nice. That is all.
Yes, I feel like every day, I think you need to wake up with renewed hope. And it's the lack of hope that actually puts us in a very bad headspace. So I think just always holding on to hope. I think that would be my song.
Oh, I know mine now.
Yeah.
We're just listening to it just now. Olodumare. Is it?
yes.
Because for real, you got me. You got me. Yeah, I'm got you.
Yeah.
The whole of January, the whole of 2025,
the whole of everything. Yeah. He's one of my favorite artists. Like my Spotify it's insane. I listen to all his songs over and over again.
And it helps that he looks nice.
Yeah. I mean, but of course.
Hey.
Right.
Okay, my other question would be, if January were a person, how would you describe it? Grumpy old man or a strict teacher?
Well, that reminds me of my CRE teacher is it primary school? I'm strict.
CRE inakuwa strict.
It's so strange. Hata mimi sijui alikuwa anaitwa Mr. but alikuwa strict. But I want to say strict.
Why?
And why I'll say strict is in maybe the previous Januaries, it's always been being caught off guard, especially financially. You're just like, guy, but I think one of the things that I've purposed to do this year, this January, is to be very strict with myself as far as finances are concerned. I don't know, I'm not getting caught off guard, and I'm also not struggling. I'm just gonna sail through it because this is like my manyth January. Surely I must have gotten it. How long do I need? So I'm actually taking it like it's March or April. Like I choose to be very strict as far as finances are concerned. So I'll say the strict teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'd also say the strict teacher because January always feels like it sets the pace for the whole year. So it has to be the Monday of Nini. Monday of the year. It's the Monday of the year. You need to like start on a strong footing, even if sometimes it feels like it's not the best month, especially financially, but it's like Mondays. You get Monday blues, you get January blues. So it has to be strict in the way that it sets the pace for your year. So that's, for me, it's strict.
I think I'd just echo what you guys have said. I think when it comes to January, it's a fresh start. It is just a joy about a fresh start.
Yeah.
Tunaanza upya.
How do we get it right?
We just need to ensure that you are actually putting in the right foundation. January is the month that you start putting the foundations of the things that you want to achieve.
I agree with this, Sharon, because me as well, I would name January as a strict teacher because huyo mwalimu strict, he gives you assignments, atakuwa strict on you because he wants the best. At the end of your studies, anataka utoke na A. The same way to January. If you don't set the right foundation,
that's how we are going.
Period. I've changed my answer, but but that explanation.
So I would also name January as the strict teacher. My final question: if you could trade January for an extra December, would you take the deal? Why or why not?
That's interesting.
Can I trade half of it? Can you give me 1.5 months of December and then a half month of
I like how
from January because my birthday is also in January, but it's in the further end. It's like you go handle 1st to 15th. Actually, handle 15th to 31st. If it makes sense. If it makes sense, it will work.
So that we celebrate you.
You celebrate my birthday, but also I get to have 1.5 months of December. December is fun. I tell you. December feels like. It's the Friday. It's the Friday of the year. There's a vibe. There's
can never be taken by anything else.
There's a vibe to it. So I'd enjoy extra days of December actually. And then the way even work is not that serious. As in, it's not that heavy.
Because Jan for us, is heavy.
Jan is one of our heaviest months actually. Yeah.
I think for me, the older that I'm getting, I prefer to ease into things instead of hitting the ground running. So I think for me, I'd prefer a longer December just so that you can ease into the seriousness of things. If they usually feel there has to be a day between Sunday and Monday.
There has to.
They must. I agree completely. Who do we need to talk to? I don't know. Somebody just needs to figure it out.
We need to talk to someone. Please, man.
So I think same case applies. And for me, the reason is I would take a bit of January and put it into December, just because also, hey, adulting is a lot. And I feel like, as in, before we breathe December in Maisha. So just with the same conversation, December is kind of like a chill down. And I feel like as adults, we rarely get moments of just chilling and kind of slowing it down and just allowing ourselves time to, put our legs up and enjoy. One of the things I usually think about and laugh is like you save up and buy a big TV and then you watch it like 3 hours in a day. Not even 3 hours. Actually, you watch it like
even less.
30 minutes a day if you do, even before you fall asleep on the couch. So I'm like, I would like time to watch that TV, to enjoy it. So I would say I'd extend my December a little bit. But even as I extend the December, one of the things that I'll appreciate about January is that new starts, new beginning, new opportunities. So there's also the excitement of, I get to do this again. I get to start it again. And it's okay. Even if, just what Wambu had said earlier, even if this is my 7th or 8th life, I'm starting again. And there's kind of a hope that comes with it, and an excitement that I can reset, I can adjust this part, I can switch this part up a little bit. But ultimately, over and above, whether it's December or January, I think the fact that we have life, guys, in good health just tops it up. I remain very, very grateful. But definitely, 45 days of December,
and then 15 days of Jan.
For me, I would really not trade January for an extra December because, there's that pressure that comes with January. Yes. But remember, you cannot solve a problem by running away from it. You have to face it.
I'm running.
You have to face it. You have to set all your foundations. The right way. So I would not trade January for an extra December.
This is the life.
Face it. January is there to stay. Face
your
it.
mountain.
But also, Nancy, because we don't, maybe you can see where we're coming from, because we don't, we also don't get like atufungangi shule. We don't get closing days. We get a holiday. December holiday, 2 months.
I think actually, someone needs to create a closing school. They can how easy to come together and midterm from holiday.
Every quarter ikuwe na midterm.
Kadogo tu
2 days to relax.
Alafu tuna refresh. I'm so envious of children. I wish they knew. 2 months. 2 months. Una watch TV, unacheza nje. Must be nice.
2 months. Ati November ujaguza, December ujaguza,
uko tu home, una relax, unakula, unalala. Must be nice.
But it's also funny how when we are kids, tunatamani kukua like adults. You admire their lives because you want to grow up, you want to have a job, you want to pay your own bills.
I know.
Life is interesting.
But that's being human. You always admire something that you don't have at the moment.
True. The end of our fun time.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think now we can proceed with our January and 2025 expectations. Let's talk about vision boards. You guys, what do you feel about vision boards? How do you feel about vision boards?
Wow.
And also, do you have one? And do you update it every year? Those are questions that want to ask. I have a vision board. It's my wallpaper, but I don't change it often. It's just something that I'd like to see often, just so I know like what my goals are. They're not necessarily like determined by the year or at the start of the year. For example, if I have something and I can check it out of my vision board, I'll just remove it because I'll remove it, make it something that I'm aspiring to. And usually it's like family, it's like making friends, it's like growing my finances. So it's very not specific things, it's very holistic things that I aspire to in my life for my future. So that's how I approach vision boards. It's not every year I have to have one, and it's not it's specific things that I want to achieve for that year. It's usually something very general.
Okay, I've done vision boards before, and this year I'm kind of torn. So previously, I think the last 2024 I didn't do a vision board. I anchored more towards like doing the year compass. But what I realized while I was in 2024 was some of the vision, and I like what Wambo said, some of the vision boards that I had done, I think in 2022, a lot of the things I had written came to pass in 2024.
Nice.
And that blew my mind. And in fact, I had already, not forgotten, but maybe put it at the back burner. Yeah. And then I moved houses, then I found it. And when I looked at it,
you're just ticking things off.
It blew my mind. I was so grateful. So I decided one of the things I'd want to do differently this year is I'll do my vision board on my birthday.
Oh,
yeah, I want to start doing it actively. And one of my sisters has always done their vision board on their birthdays. I want to start doing it on my birthday so that I will do the year compass at the end of the year as I transition into the new year, which I have already done. And then I'll do my vision board on my birthday, and exactly what you said. So instead of limiting it to a year, I'll probably do 3 years. And even if in those 3 years some things have come out, I'll remove and add and play around with, so I'll refresh it every year. But yes, and I think I'll stick it out as much as I want to put it on my phone, and I think I learned that from one boy. I want to put it on my phone, I want to put it on my laptop, I want to put it on my wall so that I see it, and there's something powerful about seeing. So this year, yes, I won't put it as a back burner. I will put them everywhere so that I can see it everywhere. And
I've always had this tendency of writing my goals, rather jotting down my goals every year until I realized I would forget whatever it is that I write. So I decided to stick to one thing. You don't limit it to a certain year. You just write your goals. Whichever year you achieve them, it's okay.
Nice.
That's what works for me.
Okay.
And I think there's also an excitement. I'm that sure for gratitude. I think one of the things that really makes me happy is when you go back and you look and you see imagine God did it. And especially because sometimes, the way there's that quote about if your dream doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. And sometimes you write things and you're like, Ruby, ukona jokes. Yeah, so to see even some things that you thought, serious come to pass, I feel like it's the thing that should remind us that truly you can achieve anything, and that we are not putting God in a box this year. I think we've all agreed. I'm sure mwaka enda na sisi 2020 kabisa.
I think like you, I have a year compass. I think after Tessie plugged us
ni kama kwa blood. She's the same person who plugged me as well.
So I always do my year compass, every usually the period as you're transiting, that between 27 it's when I usually do my year compass. But even as Nancy has mentioned, like you also now need to continue reviewing it. And maybe if I told you not now putting it maybe in your wallpaper, you could have monthly dates with it just to see, this is what I had dreamt about, where am I, what am I doing about those dreams, which one now do we need to, because even in the course of the year, probably maybe in June, you will probably have another epiphany. Like I need to revamp, the goals that I have for the year. So I think you also just need to have it, at the top of your mind by actually looking at it and just seeing, because there are people who they don't know what they wrote in their year compass.
Yeah, that's true.
So you guys have mentioned your compass. For someone who doesn't know what a year compass is, what would you tell us? What is it?
And Wangari, if I forget anything, you can chime in. So a year compass is basically, let me call it a booklet. So you could do it either online, but I prefer to print it so that niandike physically. But it's a book that kind of shows, it gives you an audit of the previous year. So like now, because we're in 2025, it'll give you an audit of your 2024, and it'll ask you questions like, what were you able to achieve from maybe a financial point of view, a social point of view? Did you have goals that you had set for your family? How is that looking like for your social life, your friends? So it has different aspects, and then you fill them in. Then it has words, things like, what was your word of the year? What are some of the things that you had set out? Were you able to do them, or how far along did you get with it? And then so it kind of helps you to summarize how your 2024 was looking like. And then now it transitions you into now 2025. What are some of the things that you want to see or you want to do within the year? And then you just now write them down. And it's different aspects. So I've said it cuts from as an individual, personally, what are you looking at in personal personal growth, socially, financially, I think even spiritually. And then you just kind of write them down, and then you can come back and audit and see what you've been able to do. Wangari, I don't know if I've missed anything.
So I've opened mine. So for the past year, so it's about, this is what my last year was about. So there's the personal life and family, career and studies, friends and community, relaxation, hobbies, creativity, physical health, fitness, habits that defined you, you know. And then now there's also now the 6 sentences about my past year. The wisest decision I made. The biggest lesson I learned. The biggest risk I took. You know, the biggest surprise of the year. The most important thing I did for others. And then the biggest thing I completed. So it's actually, it gives you really action steps on where you are, and maybe the hopes that you have for the future. It's really good. It's very introspective. And it's not something that, it's not a one day
kind of thing.
Sit down, because it's lengthy. So I think it's something
you can take a few days. And I think one of the things that I've done, I did differently in 2024. Although we had done it before, but in 2024 I did it with a very good friend of mine and someone who had not done it before. So when we were reviewing it, their mind was blown. It was so nice to see them appreciate the tool as well. So number one, shout out to Tessie Ulitiani. We appreciate you in this episode, and I think we'll put the link somewhere here so that you guys can also be plugged if you'd be interested in wanting to do it. It's not too late. As much as Jan has started, you can always still take some time to do it. The year is young.
And at least right now you can still remember what you did in 2024. And now that we're already in 2025, you already have your goals, so it's gonna even be easier for you to write down. Okay, so I read somewhere that your goals, we often focus on like goals for a new year to be. We focus on the physical and financial and spiritual. Do you think you guys have like balanced goals in the sense of your goals hit physical, they hit spiritual, they hit relationships, hey, that one. Relational.
It's because 2026 you'll be a bride. It's okay.
And then financial. So do you think your goals are balanced? Do you think, have you in the past like fallen into just having like a specific kind of goal and not look into your goals for the year as like holistic?
So that's a good question. I think that yes, in the past I have fallen into, and especially financial. When you're struggling with money, it feels like money is the only issue. Like it's the only thing you can focus on. It's the only thing you can think about. So yes, I have in previous times focused a lot on I want to do this, I want to make this money, I want to pay off this debt, etc. But as recently, I think as maybe 2024, 2023, somewhere there, I came up, I think in therapy actually, my therapist shared a tool and it had mental, physical, spiritual, social, financial. There was another one. There was 6. I don't remember the 6th one. So when she shared that from that point, what I said to do, and physical actually. So what I said to do was every so often when I'd have a date with myself, I'd write, like I'd draw it's not a quadrant because there are 6, that whatever it's called, and then I'd write down. So that what that has made me now do is in my goals, remember, but as much as I've talked about physical here and financial, what about the spiritual part? What about the social part? And what about the mental part? So it has actually forced me, especially mental, because I feel like sometimes we forget or neglect it. It has helped me to just come back to, what are your mental goals? What do you want to do for yourself mentally? How is your mental health?
And it's often times that we forget, like, you need to actually take care of your mental health. It needs to be an active like effort to take care of it. And I know most of the time we don't know how to take care of it. So now that you mentioned it, is there any way you plan to take care of your mental health in this year? I know Wangari said she's going back to therapy. Is there anything else that you're doing?
So me, I want to laugh when Wangari said she's going to therapy. Me, I kept quiet because I was battling it in my mind. So 2024, I think I stopped therapy somewhere in August, maybe, or September, August, somewhere there. And I think I was running away from my therapist. But now, as I audited myself, I wasn't really running away from the therapist. I think I was running away from myself and the fact that she would need to keep me accountable. And I'm like, I feel like I might have done the exact thing that she told me not to do, then I'm like, oh crap, now I'm just going to go back and sit with her. But I mean, and one of the things I've learned how to do in life is extend myself grace. I do foolish things sometimes, and I'm like, imagine foolishness is part of life.
Yeah.
But yes, to be honest, so now I've been kicking myself for need kurudi therapy but yes, definitely going back to therapy is something I must do. A part of me is like, we can stay a little longer, but the reality is, yes, it's something that I need to do. But over and above that, the day-to-day things that you could do, I usually take walks when I feel like my mind is about to lipuka. Then I go discussing with myself and I. I also write down a lot and do a lot of journaling just to also remove what is in the mind. But I think one of the things, or speak to a friend, one of the things I would say is, please take care of your mental health.
Please.
And it is such a privilege when you can tell that something is off, because it gives you the probe to say, either go back to therapy or go speak to that friend or journal, take a walk, whatever the exercise is. But please also don't neglect it. Don't allow for it to continue to build and build and build, and it becomes a bomb. I know that there's so much that we need to deal with, so much that we are tackling, and it can be a lot. So please don't suffer in silence. There are many different places where you can, check out therapists. And I know, I think there's in Chiromo, you can find therapists that are affordable. You could also check out Lydia KM's Instagram and find some of the therapists that she's shared. And please don't suffer in silence and don't suffer alone. Take care of your mental health.
Yeah, if anything, now that we're in January, the thing you should be telling yourself some of the goals that we have said, mental health should also be really up there, just so you can enjoy your year. Because when you're not okay,
your mental health,
you have nothing.
And imagine in 2025, there's no shame
around
seeking help for mental health. Imagine shame.
Actually, when Ruby, you're saying, you have to go back to therapy. I'm just laughing because I've also ghosted a therapist.
Even me, I was like, I'm coming. Sure,
but you have to extend yourself grace.
Yes. I think it's something that I would also want to try myself, because apart from my own coping mechanisms that sometimes do fail me.
Do fail all of us.
Therapy is something I would want to. I haven't done it before, but it's something I would want to try this year.
Please do. Try.
It's for you. Yeah.
And one of the things that I learned from Lydia KM that I've never forgotten is it's okay to also, I don't know if the word is test, but it's okay to go to one therapist, test and figure out, I feel like we are not a good fit, try another one. Usifeel like ukienda kwa huyu then it doesn't work, you're like, I think it's me who has the problem. Apana. It's just one of those things, just like a relationship. You guys need to gel so that you can also be comfortable enough to share. And to be fair, you're sharing really intimate stuff. So you need to find someone where you feel also you have a safe space to do it. So even when you try, jaribu moja isipoingiana, jaribu mwingine until you find place yenye uko.
And vile you not
that's what has been.
That's the thing. You're like, and vile you don't relate with everyone. Even therapists, you might not relate with your first one, your second one. And I want to say this as an example. I hope my sister will allow me to say this, but she also went to one therapist and they didn't gel as well. But the next one she tried turned out to be her therapist for the next 2 years. And they have a really fantastic relationship, and she's been helped through a lot of navigating adulting and a lot of navigating any of the issues that might come up from adulting, and even her job and everything. And right now she's thriving. Her mental health, you can tell she's thriving. So
Thriving is the word.
Thriving is the word.
Thriving is where we are getting to.
If you have been in the gutter, and then now you can now say that you're okay. That's a win. It's a win. And I really thought we should not talk about mental health, especially at the start of a year, just so you know, you will always fall and things will always go wrong. But find a way to be able to navigate this mini life. Especially, we don't know what tomorrow will hold.
I know.
So if you have the tools to put yourself afloat, keep yourself afloat, then you've done the best that you can do for yourself. Yeah. And I think with that, I want to have a quick parting shot for everyone. And I want to put everyone here on the table on the spot.
I knew she was going to do this.
I suspected
she was going to do
everyone.
this.
You know me too well. I want to put you guys on the spot. I want you guys to talk, wish people a happy 2025. And it can come from, I'm saying this, it can come from internal. It can be you talking to yourself in the future, and then you can come back and say, I'm so glad I wished myself just encourage someone who's listening to us or your future self. You can come back to this video and say, I listened, I heard this, I needed to hear this, I need to hear this right now, and I'm hearing it, and it's from myself. So can we do that?
Okay. Let's just
quick parting shots. Quick parting shots.
Okay.
Yeah. You can start.
Yeah, you can start,
Nancy.
Sure.
So as a parting shot, guys, this is a new year, 2025. Please do not be hard on yourself. If there were goals you did not achieve last year, it's not the end of life. It's a new year and another chance for you to put your house in order, to put your things in order so that you start afresh. But then remember, as the year begins, don't be too hard on yourself. We still have 11 months to go, so you can still work on things that maybe don't seem to work out. You can put your house in order still. So be encouraged. Let's start the year strong.
Nice.
Yeah, so
love that.
Well done, Nancy. So they don't call me a writer for nothing. I wrote this down.
Be the Kenyan writer.
Yeah, end of 2024, and I didn't know I was gonna use it today. But the reason I want to share it is I wrote it looking back at what 2024 was, but I've read it over and over, and I realized that it's applicable even in the years to come. So what I'll do is I'll change it up into 2025. So when I read it to you, it will look at it as we are now in December, ending 2025, and these are the things that we are looking to have done. And as I read it, I am reading it also to future Ruby, who will be ending December, future Nancy, future Wambo, and future Wangari, and all of you who are watching. So I'll just read. When I look back at 2025, I am thankful that I chose to dare to dream, that I put my best foot forward despite the voices in my head that said I could not do it or that I wasn't good enough, that I dared to try, and in the trying met the version of myself that could achieve my dreams, that I was stretched more than I imagined, that even when I fell, I was able to get back up, that I extended grace to myself, that I chose to believe in the faith that he who started a good work in me would be faithful to complete it, and that I saw the fruits, stopped, soaked in the moment, and actually celebrated in my own tiny way. Yeah.
Great, that's really nice. So,
Thank you guys.
Yeah. So for me, now that I'm putting people on the spot, I didn't have anything to say.
Over to you, boy.
But all I can say, one of my favorite quotes is that long quote that says, "Our deepest fear is that not that we are inadequate; it's that we are powerful beyond measure." And I know everyone that I've come into contact with is a powerful person beyond measure. And I know even you who is watching us, you're powerful beyond measure. And you're powerful more than you know. So I hope that 2025 is the year that you discover your strength. And it won't come from a point where you have had to be strong. It will come from a point where you are just discovering your strength.
I'm so sorry. Cringe.
From a point where you're just getting your strength back, you're just getting, everything is aligning. And I hope this year is a year for alignment for you with your goals, spiritual, financial, relational, anything that you want to achieve this year. I hope that you achieve it. And like I said in the previous episode, if anything you do, if all you did was keep yourself alive, you've done enough. So I hope you keep yourself alive this year.
So I think for me, I've been mindful the last couple of months and weeks. And if there's something that I want to align my life to in this coming year and in the next 12 months, is that I want things to align to gentleness. I feel like sometimes, maybe the way that we grew up, sometimes we normalize a lot of chaos, and sometimes you could be in relationships, you could be in friendships, you could be in dynamics and connection that feels like another round of maandamanos. Like right now, if at all a friendship, a relationship, a connection is chaotic, like maybe you see that call and it just gives you a lot of anxiety. I think this is the year to actually figure out who's where. We're wanasemanga kucut off.
Cut off. What to talk say?
Yeah. You need to let go in the spirit of letting go.
Yeah.
I think this is also the opportunity for you. And I feel like, especially as women, we are so used to prioritizing everything and everybody and become at the bottom of the list. And I feel like this is the year for things to change and prioritize yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And it's good for your nervous system. This right now I'm also looking to align with things that suits my nervous system instead of activating my nervous system. So I think that is something that I'm aligning with. We are aligning with gentleness, with chaos. It is another round of maandamanos. Imagine me sina yo energy.
Fight must go no fight vitu zingine.
No.
I think I have one tiny thing to add just before we finish. Ladies, as the four of you sit here, you are really powerful women, and I hope that you do not forget that in every situation that you're in, you are more than equipped to deliver greatness, and you are actually destined for greatness. So let this be the year that we come to celebrate and see the things that we've done, and also celebrate each other and empower each other to actually do the things that we want.
Yes, also, guys, as our CEO and that usually says, growth happens when you're out of your comfort zone. So this is the year of growth. As much as you're not going to be hard on yourself, remember you also need to push yourself a little bit so that you grow and stay in your comfort zone.
True.
Perfect. My last one. I feel like they have all covered at the same time.
It's okay.
This is more of a personal one. Any lesson that you refuse to learn will repeat itself until you do. So do not let 2025 be the year that you keep learning the same lesson over and over and over and over and over again. That's all. That's all I had to say. So thank you so much for joining us for this session. We have had an amazing time. I love sitting with these ladies because you feel the power, you feel it's amazing. It's actually amazing sitting here. So we look forward to a fantastic 2025, and I hope you'll be with us throughout the journey. Follow us on BTC on Instagram, all social medias actually. BTC podcast.
Subscribe as well, guys.
Subscribe to our YouTube and also follow Centonomy.
Awesome. Let us know on the chat box.
Talk to us. Tell us what you're looking to do.
2025, you can type on the chat box.
Period. Let us know what your hope for 2025 is, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.